Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic. We want to welcome you to this platform here today, regardless of what your addiction may be. You are welcome here. We support multiple pathways to recovery, not just one, but all pathways. And whichever pathway it is that you choose, well, we're here to help, and we definitely want to make sure that it works for you. If you're watching this through the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, we encourage you to share your own experience, strength, and hope in your own words of wisdom. You never know who needs to hear what it is you might have to say, and it could just change someone's life, including your own. I want to talk this morning about humility, or lack of humility in my case. I was looking over step 7, and we humbly ask him to remove all of our shortcomings. The key word there, it really jumps out to me every time I read that step, is humbly. See, I wasn't humble about anything. Matter of fact, I knew it all. I was the smartest motherfucker in the room. Or so I thought. But, you know, my lack of humility and my pride, that stood in my way, and that kept me drinking for a really long time. Matter of fact, I think that kept me in the madness longer than what I would have otherwise cared to have stayed in the madness, if you will. And, you know, I talk to people now even, they said, man, we had no idea that you were an alcoholic. We had no idea that it was that bad for you. We had no clue. And I'm like, of course not, because I never said a fucking word. Who wants to go out and admit that they can't handle a certain aspect of their life? There's an amount of shame that comes along with that, or so I thought. You know, who wants to go out and admit that, hey, you know what? I can have a good time, but I just can't control my drinking, or I can't control my drug use. No one wants to admit that, because in our minds, we go, well, we'll look inferior to this person. We'll look like a less than in the eyes of this person over here. And that's not what we want at all. And so my pride and my lack of humility really got in my way. And for me, it simply comes down to this, as far as humility is concerned. I don't know everything. I'm no longer going to pretend like I know everything. People will ask me questions about, you know, a couple topics that are closely related. I'm like, hey, that's not my bailiwick. This over here is my bailiwick. Okay. I don't know the answer to this question, but I know the answer to these types of questions. You know, there's nothing wrong with admitting that we don't know something. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that, hey, you know what? We might need some help here. I know had I admitted that earlier during my drinking, I might have stopped drinking sooner than what I did. But all I know is, looking back, is that pride and that lack of humility would continually, day after day, get into my way until finally I just resigned my fate. Resigned my fate to death by drink is what I called it. You know, I was destined to die, a drunken alcoholic, and now I no longer am. Now I'm probably, you know, going to hopefully die of old age, rather than just being a drunken alcoholic. You know, my grand sponsor, if you will, he's no longer with us, but I remember he told me, he said, I'm going to die with my disease rather than from my disease. And that's how I hope to die. But I want to encourage you today, you know, it's a tough spot to be in, you know, knowing, you know yourself, you can't control a certain aspect of your life. You can't control your drug use. You can't control your drinking. But you don't want to admit that to anybody, because you don't want to seem like you don't have your shit together. Let me be the first one to tell you, this guy you're looking at on screen, I don't have my shit together either. Man, the slightest thing will distract me. My ADHD is off the charts some days. You know, I could be talking to you one minute and squirrel, right? That's okay. I don't have my shit together either. My life is not perfect by any means. Don't ever think that I got it together. The second that I start thinking that I've got my shit in order, is the second I start down the road to relapse. And that's a road that I have traveled way too many times, and I don't want to travel it anymore. See, I don't got this. That's why I have to stay connected. That's why I have to stay talking to you in the mornings. I say it all the time, you guys help keep me sober. These videos help keep me sober. That's why I have to stay connected to those in the rooms, to other alcoholics who share the same goal that I do, which is to get and stay sober for the rest of our lives. I don't have my shit together. And I'm okay admitting that. I stood just three weeks ago. I stood up in a ring full, or a wrestling ring in my very hometown and admitted to God and everyone within the sound of my voice that I was an alcoholic, that I didn't have my shit together. You know what? I wasn't ashamed of that. I was proud of that. You know why? Because I found a solution. I found a solution to my problem. And it was through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. It was through me engaging with other drug addicts and other alcoholics. It was through me working with them that I finally figured out how to get sober and how to stay sober. And I want to encourage you today, there is nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I think I do have a problem. I can't control this anymore. I need help. Nothing wrong with that at all. There are a plethora of resources available to you online as far as treatment centers and things like that. There are countless online community forums, just like the Recovery Classroom, just like many others out there. And there are people who are willing to help. There's all kinds of 800 numbers out there you can always reach out to as well. You can help. You can reach out to us directly here through the Recovery Classroom and through the soberschool.org if need be. We will do whatever we can to help. Let me assure you, there is nothing wrong with admitting you've got a problem. There's nothing wrong with admitting you do not have your shit together, because even now, I still don't have my shit together. But no matter what happens, I don't have to drink over it today. You know, we all still have that choice. The book talks about how, for the alcoholic, the choice was removed from us. We were destined to die a drunk. I didn't want to die like that after all. I thought I did, but come to find out, I didn't want to die like that. And I'm thankful today that I don't have to. The choice has been easy for me now, because I have these 12 steps that I get to live by. I have these spiritual principles that I get to practice. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like my grand sponsor told me, now I'm going to die with my disease rather than from it. I want to encourage you today. It's okay to admit that you need help. It's okay to admit that you don't got this, because this guy, I don't have it either. I still have shit going wrong in my life, but that's okay. I don't have to drink over it today. You don't have to drug over it today. So I want to encourage you with that. Guys, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys have a kick-ass Tuesday. I appreciate you guys letting me come in here and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you, because this keeps me sober. I promise you. So that being said, I'll let you guys go. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.